Welcome to Ridgecrest Talk. This is the Thursday night edition, isn't it?
Yes.
I think so, even though this is not Thursday night, but for us. You're seeing it as Thursday night, so welcome, folks. I'm Al Huey, along with my partner, Robert Eierman, and our special guest. You might remember this guy back when we had elections and we had the big candidate forums. Mr. Scott Leahy was the moderator. So, Scott, thanks for joining us again here in the
Thank you
studios.
so much, Al. Thanks, Robert.
You're very welcome.
Good to see you guys again.
Now, we invited Scott because he is, you might say, the leader of the Let RC Grow, correct?
That's correct. That's our hashtag.
And what website or Facebook, because I'm not a social media person,
Okay.
how can they get information regarding what's going on with you and your group?
If they are interested, we have a group on Facebook, and it's called the Ridgecrest Timbashaw Casino Working Group. Now, this is an advocacy group. We are actively collecting supporters of the casino. But if people just want information, join the group. The only problem is that we are not arguing the issue on that forum because we're reserving that for getting the word out to our supporters and making a cohesive movement in Ridgecrest.
So if somebody comes on,
But if somebody comes on, they can
and
find out.
they want to debate it with you, you would refer them to another blog or something?
Yes, tag me in one of the other. I belong to several of the local Ridgecrest discussion groups. Tag me if you want to ask me a question or argue the issue, and I'll be happy to respond if I can.
Well, one thing I'll say about Scott, and it's been a long time since I've looked on any of the blog sites or anything. There for a while we had, I guess, maybe really 3 active blog sites when it started up. You had Mediacom, or not Mediacom, Daily Independent, you, and there was one other, I forget what it was. And then they started really filtering people when they would get, I guess you could say, passionate. Now, some got out of hand, but your website allowed people to have different opinions.
Under a strict set of rules. Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
but I mean, they were allowed to voice their opinions. So, and that's one thing that we like about Scott is we may not always agree, but we can agree to disagree.
Yes, we can.
And
So long as I win.
So he's been leading this effort on trying to get the Indian casino issue passed with our city council. We've had, 3 meetings now? The initial meeting 2 weeks ago, then we had a town hall last week. Or no, we had city council. Yeah, town hall last week.
It was
the city council this past week.
Special meeting.
And a city council town hall next week, and then the following week will be city council again, where they will supposedly either vote yay or nay on the MSA, and that's what the tribe needs in order to move forward with the purchase of the property. If they don't get approval of the MSA, then they don't need to move forward on the...
There'll be nothing to move forward on that property. But that does not, I'd really like to make this point, that does not preclude them from taking their business elsewhere, somewhere very close, where, in other words, they could go just outside of town, find some land out between us and Buttermilk Acres, put in their own well, do whatever they need.
I got a scenario that, in my opinion, could be even worse. All they have to do is go to the other side of County Line Road. They're suddenly in San Bernardino County.
Right.
Not only does Ridgecrest lose if you're looking at the income situation, but Kern County loses.
Right.
And that's, very close. It's closer to town than Buttermilk Acres.
Right.
Now, Buttermilk Acres, however, is closer to the traffic that goes by.
But to comment on that, I don't think that they're really interested in having to go down and deal with San Bernardino County. San Bernardino County is huge, and I'm sure that the bailiwicks that they'll have to jump through down there will be very daunting. So, really, if you look at this package, the Timbisha like it because of the traffic. The only traffic that goes down that road is traffic directly to Death Valley or workers going back and forth to Trona or out to the mine out in Panamint. So, they want people to drive past this. They want traffic, and and by the way, I'm not speaking for them. This is just
I know.
This is my head.
Yeah.
This is why do they want this place? Because that's the first thing that was going through my mind. Well, they've actually stated that the location looks pretty good. It's not their number one pick in town, but it looks good. Good traffic, convenient.
I actually think that location-wise now, and this has nothing to do whether I'm pro or con casino, but if I were in the tribe, Pearsonville would look pretty darn good to me.
Yeah, I'm sure it would, but it would deprive. That's Pearsonville's in Inyo County.
Yes.
So now that would be probably a much easier thing for them to jump through. Except I'm not really familiar with the politics up in Inyo. But anyway, I can tell you right now, the guy you want to talk to on this kind of stuff is talk to George Goldson, the chairman. Get him in here. You already had him once.
Right.
But ask him about these things, and ask Nigel White. Those they're the ones that have done the studies, and they have all that data.
Right.
And they want to come here. I'm going, okay, gift horse in the mouth. It's like.
Well, there's some questions
Okay.
regarding that. We'll
ahead.
get to that. We're going
All
to
right.
take a break here pretty soon.
Already? We have to go to break?
In just a few seconds, we're going to have to go. But again, we're talking with Scott Leahy. His group is hashtag Let RC Grow. You can, that's Facebook, I assume, right?
It's on Facebook. If
Okay.
they look for that hashtag, they'll find us.
Yeah. So you can look him up there and get in touch with him. We're going to take our break now. So when we come back, we'll continue the discussion with Scott on the Indian Casino.
Welcome back to segment 2 of Ridgecrest Talk here on KZGN-TV. And our special guest tonight is Mr. Scott Leahy, who is one of the leaders of the Pro Casino Group. Again, I'm Robert Eierman, along with my partner Al Huey. And I know that you're so actively involved in this. And how or why did you get involved in doing this?
When I first heard about it, I thought it was a good idea, but I had a bunch of questions. I was, concerned because, if they were looking at a low budget, thing like a Butler building to put up there, I'm going, no. That's not what we need in our main drag. We don't need something like that. We need something that's elegant. So that's the first thing that I did as I started digging. Which way are you guys going to go with this? And then I found out they intend in the first phase to spend $29 million. A lot of change. That's not Butler building money.
No.
That is architecture. That is good architecture designed by professionals in Las Vegas. They've already had the firm. They've showed us a picture of what they're thinking about, and the picture is beautiful. It's going to be scaled down. It's not that big. But anyway, just my vision. I just want to talk about this for a second. Last night, after, or during breaks during the meeting, when I had to go outside for a second, I stepped outside and the sky was dark, and I looked at the Kerr-McGee Center and the architecture of our city council building, our city hall, and I looked at that and I go, that's really beautiful. That looks beautiful. I love beautiful buildings, downcast lighting, not garish. I spoke on the phone, and that was the first question I asked Chairman Goldson. I said, "Sir, what do you have planned for this thing?" And he says, "We want to save the night sky." We want to build something that's modern, beautiful, and something that the entire city can be proud of. To me, my opponents are defending a dirt lot. They are defending unuse. They are defending letting something sit fallow that could possibly employ 146 residents here or people who are willing to move here. And actually, it'll employ 180 people because they'll all live here. The tribe wants to bring their offices here. You know, this is a tremendous opportunity for the city, and I see this vision that goes beyond creosote bush and empty, undeveloped lots. So that's my vision. I see something beautiful for the city. That's where I'm coming from. So that's what I'm defending. And if people get mad at me because I'm adamant about it, that is what's going on in my head. So if you understand that, perhaps you'll see the reason for some of my passion.
Well,
thank you so much for allowing me to that. And also, I would also like to say thank you so much to KZGN-TV for offering this opportunity for us to come down and tell our side of the story. Thank you, Al and Robert.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I would take opposition with you, though, in what your statement said about people are defending a dirt lot. Okay?
Go ahead. I welcome you to do that, but that's what they are.
They're defending what many to believe what the culture and the standings of the community are. That's why when we had the casino issue up some years ago, it was opposed.
That's prior to my time.
Okay, but it wasn't that many years ago because I've only been here since '87. Which is a new guy with a lot of people in this community. It was opposed then. We had you might remember the medical marijuana, and we had a lot of issues with that. We don't allow Chip and Dale type entertainment or strip joints in the town. Mm-hmm. So Robert doesn't agree, but I think that's where a lot of them are coming from. And yes, there are many that stand up there and because of their religious beliefs disagree.
In the end, what they are doing is they are saying, leave it the same, because that's what it's going to be.
No, I don't think they're opposed to growth. Now, there are some in this community that are, but I don't think that's the argument.
My opinion, a huge group that are opposed to growth.
There is no magic fairy that can come in and make productive use of that. You may get lucky, but it has sat there. I'm sorry. The evidence speaks for itself. It sat there empty for 30 years. So anyway, whatever. I understand that is not the motivating factor. I'm saying that is the practical result of what they are advocating for. That's what I mean. That's my point. Yeah, I don't think that's what's making them, well, I want that. I mean, well, maybe some of them just want no growth, but whatever.
Well,
okay.
Again, I don't think that's the position of most people, but we can agree to disagree on that.
Okay.
The one thing I would say is, or observe, because I've been to every meeting now, I haven't seen anyone, and I'm not really attacking you personally, but it's a matter of good adult proper debating, and I respect you because oftentimes you do have a proper attitude and are able to debate, but I don't recall anybody that had the religious point of view attacking those that have a faith that is not religious, because even the atheists, they have a belief. They believe there is no God, okay? Or they don't believe in a God. They may not believe that there is no God, they just don't believe. So I was uncomfortable last night at the end when you kind of went after people because of their religious beliefs.
Wait a minute. I didn't go after people because of their religious beliefs. I said that this is a business decision by the city. That's what I said. I said,
But
this
it still comes down to what people believe.
and we are the city council is not elected in order to uphold religious doctrine. That's not what they are there for.
Well, then why get back to why don't we have a Chippendales and a stripper joint?
Good question. Good question. But here's the thing. Again, you have, there is a whole
Hold that
area.
thought.
Hold that, yeah.
Hold that thought.
Unfortunately, we're up
Unfortunately,
against
we
the
got to
break.
take another break, and it's just starting to get good.
Yeah.
So join us in just a few seconds. We'll be back.
Come on back.
Okay, before we left, we were getting into a little bit of a discussion here on the pro, the con, the non-believers, the believers in the community with respect to whether the casino should be approved or not approved. And you were about to say...
Okay, what I was about to say is that I respect people's religious beliefs. The specific point I wanted to make is that there is a distinction between all of those things. You were talking about a weed shop, and you're talking about a strip club, and you're talking about a casino. Now,
businesses.
Now, they're all businesses. But if you ask me, I'll take the casino and I'll take the weed shop and leave the strip club off. That's my personal opinion. But if somebody came here and said they were going to build a multi-million-dollar Chippendales, promised to pay our broke city $400,000 a year, you're darn right. I'd sit there and listen to them. Okay, tell me what your plan is. I mean, there are business decisions, and we have people in this town that need work. We have businesses that need more traffic. 169 more people is the projection of what they're going to drag into town
Per day.
Per day. That's per day. And
And actually,
That's an average.
yes,
but
it's an average. It'll be a lot more. I'm sorry.
on the weekends.
It'll be that number every day on average for forever is what they're hoping. And in fact, I'm sure they're hoping that that'll turn into 250 per day as the word
but in
gets out.
reality, the majority of those people are going to be there on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Absolutely, absolutely. So don't
think we're going to get 169
Right.
people a day, Monday through Thursday.
Right. Now, when it turns out to be 3, that's going to be a problem. But I don't think that that's going to happen if this is approached right. And it appears to me, forgetting for a moment whether you're pro or con, the casino, it appears to me that if they go forward, they're going to do a good job of it. And in my opinion, we're going to have the Super Walmart opening later this year. At some point in time, if the casino's approved, we'd have a casino in a couple of years. To me, whether you like it or
We've
not,
got them at both ends of town.
That's right.
We got them. We got them at the south end, and we got them at the north. Come on in, folks.
as
Yeah,
George-
but if they stop at the north end first, they
They may
might not be able to
No,
go to the south end.
as
That's
George-
all right. I'd rather have them come up north and
as George
get
says,
some
they're
dough
gonna
for the Indians.
They're going to stop at the casino and win enough for their trip to
that's
Walmart.
right.
There you
That's
go.
good.
Okay, but
Okay, I got a couple of questions
Go
real
ahead.
quick because this is our last segment. Real quick on the 400,000, about 200 of that goes to the police department, according to the MSA. That they want-
$128,000 for police and fire is according to the MSA. Now, was
I thought
that
it was
number changed?
190 something.
No, it was $128,000 is designated for the police, but it's all going to go to the general fund. That is just what the Timbishaw people are accounting for. And by the way, guys, this could have changed. There were several changes to this
Yeah,
MSA.
right.
It was 18-year-old gambling. The chief
Yeah.
didn't like it.
They changed it
They
to 21.
changed it for 21.
Okay, let's take the 128.
Okay, 128.
And we got the jail closing, which is kind of separate from the whole casino thing. I understand that. But it's a fact, it's a reality. And it's estimated that it's going to cost around $200,000 a year for the police department to transport prisoners on a daily basis to the jail down in Mojave. That eats up that 128 real quick.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with any.
Guess what? They already have to do it. So do you want to have a, and it's not just 200,000. The city is going to get on the just the good estimation we should get, because we are not partners. This is going to work off of the appraised value of the completed casino. When that's done, they estimate that
They'll get 2%.
2%
Right.
will be $400,000. That's what they're expecting.
Right.
So anyway, but these things that you're talking about are issues that the city is already going to have to pay for. You know, it's like, guess what? We're closing the jail, so we got to do something. So we're already going to have to do that. We have an average, I heard last night, of 3 people per day being transported.
Right.
So the trips already have to be made.
Right.
So anyway, let's do it and have maybe a little bit of extra money so that we don't have to go further in the hole and ruin our credit rating. That's my answer.
Well, all I'm saying is that 128 that was supposed to go for the extra police that are going to be needed for the casino, the time and all that of possible increase of any kind of crime or problems down at the casino, really is going to probably be diverted for this transportation of the others.
Yes, but it's there to divert.
But
it's there.
It's already. But
all right. I understand.
I want to tell everybody that I have nice buttons, by the way.
Can't
Contact me on Facebook. I cannot show you this button, although anyway, you might have seen a hole come through me. Anyway, I have nice buttons for people who support this effort. Just talk to me on Facebook, and we'll make arrangements for you to get them. I'm sorry, Al. Go ahead.
1 minute left. One quick question that
Yes,
came up in my mind last night. Let's say in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and this has been proven out in other locations with Indian casinos, they don't always work out, and they close. Have you thought about that, what the repercussions and the outcome and might be?
Yes, and that was actually the question that I was going to ask last night, but I found that it was asked before, and I'm not sure I have a complete answer.
You only got 20 seconds.
If it fails, basically it's like any other thing that fails. Nick's Restaurant up on
No,
but
sovereign land.
But now it's sovereign land.
Right, whatever. Who cares? Do you when you see an empty building, does it matter to you? No. The Timbishaw will still keep it, and I would assume that some sort of other arrangement, but it's not going to fail. Trust me. It's a Navy town, folks.
Yeah.
It ain't failing.
It's a question
I tend
that
to agree with you.
I think the council should look at and address in the MSA. But unfortunately, we're out of time
again.
I want to thank you, Scott,
Thank
for
you,
coming
Scott,
in.
for coming
Al, Robert, thank you guys. Appreciate
Next
the
week,
opportunity.
6 o'clock Wednesday night, the town hall. Be there.
Be there.